Failure is your best teacher. I think it's essential to get comfortable with failure because it can teach you a ton. Think about it. The best athletes in the world fail all the time. Imagine training for the Olympics. You spend decades of your life trying to be perfect for that one moment that you get to shine, failing all the way through, hundreds of hours of failure, and you're still considered the most elite at what you do. So why should we hold ourselves to such an impossible standard and think that we should be never making mistakes? It makes no sense at all. So if you'd like to get comfortable with failure and be amazing anyway, that's what we're talking about today in the video, so stick around. First, I'd like you to start adopting a growth mindset. This is something I've talked about in previous videos, but it's a really important shift in your mindset from seeing challenges as something that gets in your way to really understanding this, that the obstacle is the way. It's a great quote from Ryan Holiday that really distills this idea for me, that instead of being annoyed with the things that get in your way to achieving your goal, understand that these things are in the way to teach you the things that you need to achieve your goal. It's a fundamental difference in how you're reacting to the things that lay in your path, and a really, really important way to understand that these are opportunities for learning and growth, and not things to be frustrated with. It's an indication that you're on the right path. Some great examples of this from other well-known entrepreneurs is Richard Branson. Richard Branson is a billionaire. He's respected by lots of people around the world, has dozens of successful businesses, but has not always been successful. We don't hear about the issues, the problems, the obstacles, the things that have failed. We only hear about the success stories. For example, have you ever heard of Virgin Cola? Not many have. He's still worth $3.4 billion. He embraces these failures and the lessons that they have taught him through his life, and still manages to eke out those successes, which dramatically outweigh the issues that he's run into, the problems that he's experienced in his entrepreneurial journey. Another great example is Sara is the youngest self-made billionaire ever. Her first business was selling fax machines door to door, and it was a gigantic failure, as you can probably guess. Sara faced hundreds of small failures on the road to eventually building the brand Spanx, and those failures taught her about resiliency and the ability to embrace her failures and come back stronger. This is the mindset that you should be adopting and instilling in your team. Let's come back to some sports analogies because I think it really helps underline the success to failure ratio that we're talking about here. Mike Trout is considered one of the best hitters in baseball. He has a .301 batting average. I don't know a ton about baseball, so for the rest of us, that means out of 1,000 chances at bat, he misses 699 of them. Isn't that wild? The best hitter in baseball misses 70% of the time? We could also consider basketball. And in basketball, they're still missing 50% of their shots. Michael Jordan had this quote, and he said, "I've failed over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed." So if you're giving up after a setback in business, you're missing the opportunity to learn and adapt like the world's great superstars in sports. Failure is a feedback mechanism, and feedback is a gift. Some of the reasons that people fear failure is a fear of being judged by others, maybe a fear of being the setbacks and what that could produce in your life, or a fear of personal inadequacy. One of the key reasons people fear failure is how they will be viewed by others, though. Maybe your team will think less of you. Maybe your family will be disappointed. Maybe your peers will think less of you. This is sort of the wrong way to think about this. The people that matter will always support you, so ignore what others may think. That really doesn't matter. To be honest, no one will remember the mistakes that you made anyway, as long as you push forward and are ultimately successful. They will remember if you quit when things got hard, though. So again, the obstacle is the way. Pushing through these opportunities, finding those life lessons that they can create, and really sort of muscling through those problems are how you're ultimately going to be successful. The bumps along the road, the failures you'll experience will not be remembered by anybody, and probably not remembered by you. So we need to understand the importance of embracing failure as a teacher. And how do you take action on this with your team? A great first step is normalizing failures with your team and discussing them openly without looking for blame, but just trying to understand what happened and how we can protect against those things in the future. Using a failure of your own is an excellent way to promote psychological safety. It's also helpful to talk openly to your team about building resilience. After all, a manager can't fix a problem they don't know exists. Encouraging your team to identify and table issues that they've seen in their day and problems that exist in the business should be encouraged. And it has to be done in an open, non-judgmental discussion with the team on how they can resolve these issues and foster a growth mindset. Now that you've geared up for building a growth mindset and embracing failure, you can check out some of these other videos that can help you in your development of your leadership and the development of your team as well. Remember to throw a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. That way you'll get notified of the next video that I post. Have an awesome week, and don't fear failure. It's often your best teacher.